Pop, what's your relationship like with Brad?
Good. Unless he's been talking badly about me. That's been great. I've enjoyed from day one when he came into the league. We talked several times, and we've continued that. He's a fine young mind, got great character, and one of the fine coaches in the league now already.
I know you've turned the page, but what has it been without Tim this year? I mean, what's the...
Well, I don't know how to answer that. He's not there, so you move on. I miss him, of course. I was with him for 20 years, so it feels strange at times. He's not on the bus. He's not on the plane. I can't joke with him and have him coach me and tell me what I'm doing wrong every day. So I miss all that. But it's just like not having a good friend there. But he's in the gym. He comes by to practice. He pretty much stays away from games, but he comes by and works out, and everybody sees him. He's got a locker in the coach's room there, so he comes in and does his thing. So he's around.
Did you address that directly as you had that Miami defeat? I mean, was that something that you talked to the team about? You had to move on, or was it?
So I'm not sure I understand your question.
Well,
Talk to the team about Timmy?
Yeah, I mean this is
kind of
it
shook
now.
me with the Miami defeat there.
Yeah, I know.
Why
Sorry
not?
about
You bring
that.
up.
Sorry about that.
It's the day after Thanksgiving. You turn into a rat already. Jeez,
Again,
one
still.
good day and then you're a bum. No, I didn't bring it up at all.
Yeah.
They got to move on. It's their team, and they deal with that.
When he shows up to the gym like that, I mean, he's working out, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
He'll come in and, maybe we're on the court and he'll go into the weight room area and work out, peek in on practice here and there. Come in and put his arm around DeJounte Murray or somebody, some young guy, and talk to him a little bit, which is kind of cool. And hang around, and he'll talk with us, joke, and it'll probably go further than that as time goes on. I don't ever see him looking at film in a room and diagramming plays. He's too smart for that. But I can see him scouting and taking a trip someplace and jumping on the plane with us here and there, that kind of thing.
Have you and him had that conversation just about him maybe having a more defined role as far as scouting and things like that?
I told him, I think I said it to the press too, he can have any job he wants. He can help RC, he can help me, he can help both of us. He can come once a week or once a month or every day. He gets to do whatever he wants. I mean, every time we go to a meal, we raise a glass and we toast and we say, "Thank you, Timmy." Mm-hmm. So, he's pretty much the man.
So you mentioned Murray, who I think is a pretty intriguing kid. So what do you like about him, and what does he need to do to get?
DeJounte?
Yes.
Oh, he's just really young.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 20, and he's a total blank slate right now. He's obviously a good athlete. He's got great speed, and he's got length and bouncy, really intelligent, willing to work at it like Kawhi has, and he'll have a bright future, but he needs to play, and Popovich hasn't put him on the court, so probably, I know it, he's just curmudgeon. So, probably going to spend some time in the D League. He needs to play like Corey Joseph, so to speak, 35 minutes a game and learn and make some mistakes and don't worry about him and just move on. So I think that, his future's ahead of him, but he's going to be a good one.
Pop, what did you see from Kawhi during the draft process that maybe some other teams didn't see? And going through that, did you have any idea that he would be the guy to help carry you through the transition after Tim?
No, we'd be exaggerating if we said we knew what he was going to be, kind of like Manu. We didn't know Manu was going to be Manu or Tony. It just worked out for us. But we needed size when we made that trade, because it didn't make sense to have Tony, George Hill, and Manu Ginobili out there. It's just too small. So we were looking for size, and RC and his group did a great job in pretty much targeting Kawhi. And then, after they do that, they drag me in the room, and then we sit and, watch film and decide if that makes sense. So right up until the last minute, I think he was the 15th pick, Kawhi. And we were on the phone, right up until that point, trying to figure out if we really wanted to do it or not, because George Hill was one of my favorite players all the time. And we're still involved together in some charity stuff and off-court activities, so it was real difficult. But Kawhi had such size, and we thought he had the foot speed to go ahead and move from an inside player to the 3 position. So we decided to roll the bones, and we did, and found out that he's got the same attitude that Tim Duncan had. He comes early, he stays late, he wants to be great. He's just a sponge. And then it was up to Chad Forcier, who's now in Orlando, and Chip Englund did a great job in developing him. He couldn't shoot a 3 when he came. He didn't have any perimeter kind of moves or step back or anything. We just grabbed him and convinced him that we wanted him to be Bruce Bowen first. We wanted him to be a defender and a rebounder, which he's done to this day. He hasn't let that go. And then we would add on offensively, and those two did that for him, along with obviously his work ethic.
Has he taken on more of a leadership role within the team?
He has. He's never going to be a towel waver, but he speaks to me about things that he sees now. He comes into timeouts if he's not happy with what's going on the court, and that's all good.
What kind of unique challenges does Isaiah Thomas present a guy at his size?
It's just hard to keep up with him. He's a tricky little dude, and he's got a lot of ways to score. He'll find the open man if that's appropriate, but he's just tough to stick with. And the way the game is today, when you've got shooters around people like that, you end up with 2-on-1 in certain situations, and then it's a matter of timing, whether he wins the battle of finding the open man or you get back to where you got to be. So he's just very clever in the way that he scores.
With Kawhi, how difficult is it for him to increase his offensive usage and his touches this year to kind of maintain his incredibly high level on the defensive end?
Well, he's done it for us, the entire time he's been there. At the offensive end, I guess, I think our players get less minutes than other players in those positions, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think he's ever going to be worn out. I'm not going to play him like Latrell Sprewell or something like that. So if I'm wise in timeouts or giving him rests here and there, I think he can do both. And really the common denominator, bottom line, is he's getting paid to do both. So get your ass out there and do both. If you want to know the truth. You don't want to do both, then we'll pay you $4 million. We'll pay you according to what you want to do.
Pop, the fact that he doesn't say much and he doesn't show emotion, is that a good thing? Is that make him more coachable when he? Or is
Well,
it
it's just the way we are. I'd rather have him do that than beat his chest and wiggle his shoulders and stare at the camera and all that other crap. It doesn't seem to make much sense, but it's part of our fabric in our society now. I'd rather have it the other way and then work on him to be a leader in the timeouts, in the locker room, on the plane, that kind of stuff.
When you and RC's team are scouting players, how much is their potential to be malleable and to rework some of their flaws? How important is that? As Chip did so much to rework Kawhi's shot.
You mean in a basketball sense, skill sense, or character sense?
Skill sense more so.
Well, it's somebody, whoever you draft or trade for or sign as a free agent has got to have some skill. Maybe they're not well-rounded, but maybe, there's a Dennis Rodman who obviously does what he does, or somebody else who shoots it. Chris Mullin wasn't the greatest defender in the world, but he certainly could shoot it. So that's what attracts you, a specific skill from a player. You don't bring somebody in who has no skills, but you might bring somebody in who's pretty good in a lot of things and say that's going to be a good role player. Now you have to go to the character side and see if he would accept that kind of a role and blend in with a team. So it's like 2 levels of recruiting, so to speak.
What's the impressions of Nicholas?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to be glib or anything, but I don't watch other people at this point of the season because we have enough problems. I'm trying to figure us out. You know, we got a long way to go ourselves, so I spend my film time trying to do that with our players one-on-one and in groups, you know, that type of thing. And the assistant coaches watch everybody else and put a game plan together, but last time I checked, nobody invented the light bulb. It's the same old offenses, the same old defenses, and whoever executes them the best over a certain period of time wins. Sounds simple, but it's true.
Pop, you were very outspoken about this election. Are you surprised other teams are taking a stance and not staying at the Trump Towers?
I don't speak for other teams. I don't care what they do.
Are you surprised by that?
I don't even think about it. I just worry about what I think and what my team thinks.